I've hit the recording button. Do you want to chime in so I can make sure I see you in the monitor?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. This is Dennis and Scratch, and we are recording our first YouTube video. And yeah, it's your go ahead.
This is our first YouTube video. I didn't even think about that until you just said it. Well, because I recorded a YouTube video yesterday, and it
Yeah,
was
and
awful. And you
yep,
recorded a YouTube video yesterday, and it was awful. But this is the first time we've done this together.
yep. And this is
Okay.
the first video that we're gonna post officially, right? And we
Yes.
unlisted or deleted the other two.
Yeah.
So I mean,
They were scuffed beyond recognition.
yeah,
So we're gonna try it again. So anyway, as Dennis said, I'm Scratch. He's Dennis, and we are trying out this caster thing. As I posted in the Discord for you AOE Leagues participants, we are not casters. We're barely even players, and but we logged on to Twitch one day, and this was during Warlords. We saw that 32 different streams were all covering the exact same game, and that bothered us. So here we are. We are streaming AOE Leagues Season 9, but we're going to focus entirely on Bracket Q. These guys, the low elo guys. And we're going to let the other Twitch people handle Dragonstar, Elementor. Who else we got? Ozone
ozone. Yeah.
and Andre. The other big people can handle those titans of higher elo. We want to focus on the lower elos, and kind of we figured a lot of these people, they might be in their first tournament, and we want to give them the pro treatment, and give them the coverage. So yeah, here we are. I'm gonna let Dennis talk because he's way better about handling this side of things than I am.
Okay, yeah. So then this is the ninth edition of AOE Leagues. This is hosted by uh, Flu's World, Koa, Lolo, Blue Player 10, and they've had 8 editions before this. Is the ninth edition of the tournament. And this follows a round robin style where everyone plays everyone else in that bracket. So each bracket is going to have 2 groups of 6 players each, and each player has a unique way of dealing with map drafts. So typically, if you've followed pro tournaments before, you know that when players play against one another, they'll have to pick the maps and then pick the civs for those maps. And in this case, what AOE Leagues has done is said, okay, you know what? Everyone's not really great with every other map. So if you want a home map, just be really good at one map and pick that as a home map, and you will play that one game per set in that home map guaranteed. And so everyone during the sign up process will pick a home map which they will play, and each set is going to be play all two. So they'll play 2 games per set, and the points distribution is going to be, if you win both games, you get 3 points. If you win one game, you get 1 point because you're splitting between. Uh, there's no clear winner,
It's a
and
draw.
yeah, it's a draw, so you get 1 point. And if you lose, you don't get a point. And you do this by playing everyone in your group, and by the end of 5 rounds, because you have 6 players within the group, you accumulate points. And I don't really know what the tiebreak rules are. I assume it's going to be something like oh yeah, I can see that the tie breaks is going to be points, map wins, and then head to heads. So
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
yeah.
Where am I clicking next? Do we care? Do we just go
So
down
yeah,
to?
I'll also talk about the Civ draft, right? So now that you've picked one map, you still have to be better at not just one Civ, because if you've not really used this website before, there's a website called AOE to Insights. I'm sure the people who signed up for the tournament already know about it. It's going to have all the details of the games you've played, the strategies you used, your uptimes, the military creation that you did, or the civs that you prefer. So typically, when players play against one another, they go into the AOE2 websites insights website and basically look into you, and they get to ban one civ for the set. Uh, I, if you have a one top civ and you don't really play with any other civ, you probably will need to mainline on a second civ in this tournament, because you'll probably end up playing them a lot through the tournament. It's just something for the players to know about, and for the people who watch the tournament and follow our YouTube videos on this tournament. This is just how the Civ draft works, and we're looking forward to uh, seeing how all these different players in bracket Q is going to handle them. Uh,
Yeah. Or you can be like me and play 157 games as Byzantines before you start the tournament, and then that's all anyone bans against you. uh,
I
so
did
yeah,
see a few players with just one Civ.
one civ. Yeah, my people. So I guess can we talk about us? Are we allowed to? Can we
Oh
move
yeah,
to
yeah.
us?
Oh yeah, we can talk about us.
So Dennis and I were in. I'm gonna fail to remember this. It was Hera's T90 Titans League 3, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hera pretty much had his own low elo tournaments where anyone can sign up, and it would follow the pro player tournaments that's going around. And uh, when we signed up, we were following the T90 Titans League format, and that's where me and Scratch and we met a few people in the age scene. And I truly understood what all the pro players were talking about when they said the community is very friendly.
Yeah.
And
Everybody's so cool. I know there's actually some people on here that we know. We've got Kajarson in Division T, and we've got World in Division T. We know these two particularly well because they've both defeated us.
true, that is true.
Is there anybody else we know? I don't see anybody. Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Links, but yeah,
Do we see like?
there's a few.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Scout Rush. That's a good name. Okay, anyway, enough about Division P. We don't care about them. So yeah, we're gonna focus on Division Q because what happened was, I personally, I was the lowest elo player in the bracket for the tournament that that Dennis mentioned. I was the lowest player. I was like 500 elo, and everybody was telling me how cool it was that somebody so low elo was willing to give a tournament a shot. And I didn't even think about it. I don't have a lot of ladder paralysis. I just was like, yeah, I'll join a tournament, see what happens. I'll get my butt kicked, and it'll be totally fine. And I did absolutely get my butt kicked. But it was so much fun. I met Dennis, I met Yarson, I met so many cool people who just wanted me to get better at the game. I met some really cool casters like Wrath of Lynx and Smart Guy who casted my set the day before an update. And so they were the only source of how I could watch my first competitive games. And when I asked them about that, they immediately sent me a link to their stuff so that I could download their VOD and watch it and review it. And that was so cool to me. And it's been all fun. Like I've not had a bad day of AoE2 in months, and it's been a blast. And so we kind of want to bring that to Division Q, and we're using AOE Leagues as our proving ground. So please expect a lot of scuff. We're gonna try our best, but there's a very strong chance that every video will have a little bit of a different vibe than the one before it, just because we're slowly gonna be figuring this out. We're gonna be watching these videos over and over again, so we can be like, "Oh man, Scratch, you drum your fingers a lot. Stop, please." Just stuff like that. Is that it for the prime? Do we? Oh no, we wanted to go over the maps, kind of.
Oh yeah,
And
so the let's say you're in group one, so the games that you need to prepare for is let's say a player D is gonna say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna play Mega Random. It's worth for you to practice Wade Migration, Ghost Lake, Four Lakes, at least during the group stage, because those are the maps that you're gonna go up against. And the same goes for group two, where apart from your own home map, you'll also go up against all the other maps. And for the viewers, this is essentially what we'll be looking forward to when we cover the sets. These are the different maps that we would look at. And we also have something planned where we look at individual players and basically
yes,
see how they play and talk a little bit about them, give some feedback, and maybe that's something that could also be used by opponents to get an insight on what you're up against. So that's something to look forward to.
and also hopefully our videos used by the players themselves to be like, oh man, I never realized that I focus on that much. Now, like full disclosure, I'm willing to bet all of these players in Division Q are better than we are. I'm willing to put that out wholesale. Um, I I yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling. So please understand, like we're not trying to be pros. We're not trying to tell you how to play. We're by no means trying to say that we're better than you. I know for a fact that there are people on my screen right now that I know are better than me. Um, so please take what we say with a grain of salt. We are purely observing what we see, commenting upon it. That's all. We're not trying
Yeah,
to say we're 2K plus. We're not. But we got to start somewhere, and we know that there's probably one player in here who maybe this may be their first tournament, and maybe they could benefit from what we find. And that's kind of the goal. We want to we when people reach out to me and they said low elo people don't play tournaments, my immediate answer was why the hell not? This is the most fun I've had playing video games in ages. So our goal here is really just to get more low elo scope on these more serious tournaments. I think there's a lot of heat around C5, Viper, Hera, and blah 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 blah, and all that stuff, and it makes it sound like you have to be the best at the game to compete, and you don't. We've got 755 Halo players rubbing shoulders with. I'm pretty sure the highest rated player in the entire country of India, right?
yeah,
I,
yeah. I
I
think
think.
the
Pretty
only
sure.
player in India that I know of is Dragonstar. So yeah, sure.
Oh, all right, that's fair.
uh,
but like these are names I recognize. I watched Dragonstar and El Matador play games. I've watched them play like games
Crunch, are
against.
you there?
Yeah. Oh, have I stopped recording? Uh oh. This is what we're talking about.
Did I lose you?
Oh. I stopped holding my push to talk. I was still recording for me, but I stopped holding my push to talk. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay stuff. Okay. Anyway, I've watched people whose names are on this list like on YouTube yesterday with thousands of views, and they're playing in the same exact tournament as these guys, but no one else is going to watch these guys, and that doesn't feel right. So we're here, and that's what we're here for. Um.
Yeah, I
So
think the important thing is not even just that the Division Q is not going to be watched. It's most of the divisions in this tournament is not something that I would have heard of, and I hope that by us covering these tournaments, you will know about AOE Leagues and the seasons that they would keep putting out, and you'll look forward to them, and you'll be aware of the format, and potentially, if you're interested, also participate and sign up for these tournaments. So.
yeah, yeah. I to be honest, like they're on their ninth league, their ninth season. That's wild. I clicked that and I was like, holy shit, they've been at this forever. It's really cool. I do feel like we might be obligated to watch at least a little bit of bracket Q, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe a little
So,
bit.
as Scratch mentioned, Kai Arson, Flu's World are people who we know and we've interacted with a few times. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how their games shape up. And yeah, that's
Um, but for
definitely going to be
as far as
fun.
bracket Q, Dennis mentioned our plan here, and I know this won't apply to all of you. because some of you have not played games on ladder, which is fine, but that means we don't have anything to look for. But the idea here is we want to do player showcases. So I'm going to make a playlist and it's going to be bracket Q or yeah, division Q showcases. And it's just going to be whatever games we can find of you players in bracket Q. And we're just going to we're going to try and focus on 1v1s because covering team games is horrific. And we're going to see if we can just kind of get an insight in how do you play, so that when we actually watch your real games in the bracket, we have a better idea for you as a player, so that we can give better commentary, just like those big guys give the pros. That's kind of the goal. And I think after that, are we ready to close it out and start doing what I just said?
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, hope you enjoyed hearing about this tournament, and hope you're looking forward to everything that we've got planned for you.
Yep, and we're gonna try and
Thank
say
you.
this every time. Thank you, Blue Player 10, Flu's World, and Koaloa Lolo. We really need to figure out how to say his name, or their name. And yeah, so that's us. There will be a link to the playlist that I mentioned, hopefully soon. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're interested in following and being receiving a notification for the videos, feel free to like and subscribe the videos. And yeah, see you soon.
You said the thing. Have a good night.